Hey there, my name is Alex, I am the Silver Mont, and this is a review of a PS4 controller from the site Controller Chaos. They got in touch with me a few weeks ago and asked if this was something I'd be interested in. At first I was thinking to turn them down. I get a lot of offers like this to review things, but most of the time I feel like they have no relevance to my audience, that is to say, you guys. But when I thought on it more, I figured that even if controller customization isn't something I'm personally interested in, I know a lot of people do like to have custom hardware, so to speak. It taps into the same kind of vein as fashion souls, you know, how you present and express yourself. I also did a bit of quick research and custom controllers do seem to be quite popular, so I decided to take them up on their offer. And just to add to that disclaimer, I received this for free. So how about the controller itself? As you can see, I went for a silver theme. I actually based it on the character I used in my Dark Souls 1 Let's Play, who's also the avatar of my channel, so to speak. And you can see them in the channel's banner, header thing, silver and blue. Also has a bit of an Artorias vibe in that sense. Artorias, of course, being blue and silver, whereas Ornstein was red and gold. On the website, there's quite a lot of options you can go for when making one of these, and there's links in the description if you want to play around with that for yourself. And I'm sure you can come up with much better looking designs than mine. I only spent a few minutes tinkering around with it after all. That said, it's quite a hard thing to review. I don't know too much about paint and build quality. I mean, I've used a lot of controllers over the years, but I don't really know all that much about them, if that makes sense. And that seems like it would be the main thing here, the paint and the build quality. I will say that the finished product feels quite robust. My original PS4 controller has very creaky buttons, which I'm sure you've heard during some of my gameplay. I don't know how isolated or not that is, but this controller feels more robust and sturdy, and whereas my original PS4 controller started creaking on the triggers after about a week, if that, this one I've had for around 2 weeks now, I believe, and it's not creaking, so I can say that much about it. I do wonder if that's a result of them taking it apart and then reassembling it, but I can only speak for what I have in my hands, and what I have in my hands feels quite robust and solid. The actual paint seems to be of high quality. I don't know what kind of paint they used, obviously, but it feels quite heavy and thick, almost like what you'd expect to see on, you know, like a car or something, like heavy duty paint. I'm assuming it's likewise quite scratch resistant, though I've obviously not, you know, taken a knife to it and tested that. Well, I did notice there's one spot where the paint seems to have a very small chip on it, but even running my thumb over that spot, it feels like I can't really feel like a chip in the paint, even if I can see one. I was also worried whether or not an American controller would work on my UK PS4, but it does, it works with the charger and, you know, no problems there. And then on the back I asked just for the channel name in print, Silver Mont. And you can also get art on the controller grips, not to mention on the LED sensor light on the back. Personally, I prefer a more understated design, but you know, that's the point of customization. Everyone's different. So overall, sure, I'd say I'm quite pleased with it. It looks like it did on the preview. Actually, it looks a lot better in person because, you know, the light catches the paint and stuff in ways that a static picture can't really demonstrate. And it functions as a controller just fine. PS4 isn't my favourite controller in the world, but that's not really a problem with the site, it's more, you know, Sony's own design. Although on that note, I do believe you can get modded controller aspects too, such as rapid fire or other things like that. Personally, I stay clear from anything that deviates from the original controller, as I'm not sure if that's entirely legal, or if it would get you banned in online games and so forth, and I have no personal use for them. And most of them seem to be designed for first-person shooters. So how about the price then? I think PS4 controllers retail for like $60, and this was around $140 or so. Take out the retail and you're paying $80 for like the paint, build, service and delivery. Although I believe delivery outside of America, you'd have to pay more for that. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but this is a premium product after all, it's not essential. And in cases like this, you get what you pay for. I did a little bit of research on paint prices and like types of paint, and I came to the conclusion that it's a pretty fair price, but again, you have to decide that for yourself. But this is a company that needs to turn a profit after all. Is it something I would personally buy? Well, not for myself. but I'd be happy to get one as a gift, and likewise, it's the sort of thing I could definitely see myself buying a friend for their birthday, you know? I actually have a friend in mind who I think this could make a good Christmas present for. Although if they watch this video, I might have spoiled that surprise, so whoops. If you have any questions, please do ask them down below in the comments. I've included a tracking link in the description, and there's also a coupon code you can use. Silver. Oh, and of course, I have to mention that they do currently have a Dark Souls 3 themed controller up on the site. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.